We spent around 18 days in New Zealand. We went to both South and North Islands, but majority of our time we spent at South Island. In this video, I will give you an ultimate itinerary on our full New Zealand trip. So in this video, I will cover our total route with highlights of places we visited, accommodation, travel in summer season, and full cost of the trip. This will help you to plan your next trip to New Zealand. We visited New Zealand in December, which is the summer months. We landed in Queenstown Airport and hired a car from the airport. New Zealand is the best place to do road tripping. It is full of sceneries. You can pick your vehicle from one island and end your trip in the other. Almost all the car rental companies have this option. So we spent one night in Queenstown and headed to Wanaka as we had booked a twin waterfall climb there the next day. Our next stop was Lake Takapo area and Mount Cook National Park. This was a scenic ride. We didn't spend much time here, but if you have more time, there are range of walking tracks in Mount Cook National Park with amazing views. It is absolutely beautiful place to visit. We came back to Queenstown and went to southern side where Te Anu. This is where you can see famous glowworm caves. We arrived in Milford Sound by the evening for our full day Milford Sound cruise tour the next day. This is one of the most visited places in New Zealand. From Milford Sound, we drove towards Fox Glacier area via Wanaka. We visited Puzzling World and Haas Pass on the way. We did a glacier heli tour. We have spent around 2 days in Fox Glacier town. Next day, we went to Punakaki and visited Pancake Rocks and Paparoa National Park. We drove down Arthur Pass and stopped at Punchbowl Falls and Arthur Pass Village. Our next stop was Christchurch. There were few attractions near the Christchurch city. We spent around 2 days there and headed to Picton to take the ferry. This wraps our tour in South Island. We arrived at Wellington in North Island and did some activities there and headed to Tongariro. Tongariro Alpine Crossing is the main activity we did in North Island. It is a great day hike. I have a separate video on the full hike we did. Next, we went to Taupo and Rotorua area where you see lots of geothermal springs, and one of our favorite experiences here was visiting Mitai Maori village. We had plans to visit White Island, but our tour got cancelled due to bad weather. And that wraps our tour in North Island, and we boarded flight from Auckland. Talking about the accommodation, we booked different types of accommodation places throughout the trip. We stayed in fully furnished apartments in Queenstown, pod hostels, private cabins in holiday parks, or shared rooms. You can select from many accommodation options as per your budget. But there are some places I would recommend booking in advance, like in Milford Sound. These places were very expensive, and also they get fully booked in peak times. Traveling in summer season. Obviously, it is crowded in summer months. It is better if you can go in spring or fall to avoid peak seasons. But it can go cold in some parts of the country even in summer months. So if you are planning your visit in winter, some attractions like glacier tours or glacier hikes may not available or can have high chance of cancellation during the winter times. I will break down the full cost of the trip here. Your most expensive item would be the attractions. New Zealand is famous for adventurous activities like bungee jumping, jet boat rides, glacier hikes, or heli tours. These activities are expensive. For accommodation, we stayed in budget hotels or hostels and few mid-range Airbnb locations. It cost us around $800 for 18 days. If you stay in holiday parks or hostels, it can go low. For travel, it cost us around 2046 New Zealand dollars. This includes car rentals, fuel, and ferry tickets from Picton to Wellington. For food, it cost us around 1620 and flight tickets from Sydney to New Zealand around 1520 New Zealand dollars. Attractions is the most expensive item. This can go way higher depending on the activities you do. For us, it was around 3321. Uh, the most expensive activities that were in our list was the glacier heli tours, bungee jumping, and glacier heli hikes. And the other cost around 150 New Zealand dollars. This includes grocery items that we used during our stay in hostels. And the total cost was 9,457 New Zealand dollars for two people for 18 days. That wraps my full New Zealand itinerary. See you next time.